The third day of July, transfer talk. Mason Mount's medical is happening. Rasmus Hojlund, a new bid is being contemplated by Manchester United. Is Onana eventually coming? Welcome to the hotspot here again with all the latest updates concerning the biggest football club in the world. Now, the big one that is assured, this one is guaranteed. It's happening later on today. Mason Mount will be undergoing a medical at Manchester United ahead of signing a 5-year contract that will end in 2028, but with an option of a further year for it to go on until 2029. Now, we've been talking about this, and the week is this one. This is the busy week for Manchester United, as there are only about 9 days to the return of players, that is for training before the preseason that is scheduled to start in just after next week. So it's going to be a busy week, and the business is starting on with Mason Mount, the Chelsea player, finally set to undergo his medical. Should he pass it, that will be later today. He will be expected to sign his contract and join the team, the first bunch of players that will join United for training. He will be unveiled shortly after that, so be expectant that before the end of this week, Mason Mount should be done and dusted. That's the idea for Eric Ten Hag. That's what he wants to see. Things moving, things happening, and things done so that they move on to the next. Now, speaking of the next, Manchester United, as I told you earlier before, a bid of about £30 million from United for the Atalanta forward, that is Rasmus Hojlund, was rejected by Atalanta. Now, the Sun does report that United are planning to go back with a second bid improved by about £10 million. That's £40 million is what United are expected to table again this week. It should be happening. Remember, Højlund has been a top target of a striker for Manchester United, and like we have already said, we do expect him to join, but it's a matter of time, priorities, and of course a bit of agreements here between the two parties. But what we know is that there was a first bid, and you might ask yourself, when was the first bid? I think if you go into the past videos, I brought it here to you, and I told you this should be true. United had a bid rejected by Atalanta. This has not been as pronounced as the Mason Mount bid has been, probably because there were talks still going on between the two parties, and also the fact that they are not in the same country, perhaps. But what we know now is that Manchester United are preparing a second bid from a credible source in the Sun. Now, that I know that might sound oxymoron, saying credible and the Sun in one line, but I think this is a source you want to believe in, and we certainly do expect to see something happening. And well, we've seen this before, of course, and Neil Castis is one journalist who has been, I think, covering Manchester United for quite a long time. He has broken some big stories concerning Manchester United, so certainly he's one you might want to believe in when it comes to news concerning transfers and Manchester United. So the expectation is that Manchester United will go ahead and table a second bid for Højlund, as it seems he is the striker that Eric Ten Hag has zeroed down on. So that's of course concerning the striking position. The idea is for Manchester United to start a preseason or their preseason with a striker. That's the whole idea for the club, and that's why things are expected to be happening fast. That is this week. Now also, Andre Onana is the bid finally going to proceed and be approved by Inter Milan. That's the multi-million-dollar question. We expect a big update concerning Andre Onana later on in this week, because remember, we did tell you that Inter Milan expecting a bid from Manchester United. The two parties have spoken, and they're expecting a bid in the coming days, and the coming days are this. Now, of course, there is talk that there is a deadlock that has been hit, because apparently Inter Milan's valuation of the player, the goalkeeper, is way higher than Manchester United's budget, and that is why talk of Justin Bijlo, that's the Feyenoord goalkeeper, has emerged, as if United might want to shift focus onto the Feyenoord goalkeeper Bijlo. But as I do know and gather from my sources, I think Onana is still on, bigly on, and United are certainly advancing in terms of signing him. And this week they will be expected to make it official and public and known that they have made a bid, and of course expect a reaction from Inter Milan. So I think we shouldn't worry about Onana happening. Even if Bijlo might be a goalkeeper of interest to United, I think it's not probably to halt or to stop the purchase of Andre Onana. It is maybe for him to come in as a second option should United fail to agree terms with David De Gea, who is out of contract at the club, and he seems to be wanted by Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. So the goalkeeping situation is still quite of a problem, but also there is talk that United has got to sell someone if they are going to proceed and sign Andre Onana, because the money attached to him, the price tag attached to him, is a bit higher than the budget that's available for United now. That's again another report coming through, and of course that's why talks of selling Fred quickly, who is wanted by Fulham, valued at £20 million, are emerging. Scott McTominay again causing debate on whether he should be sold or not yet, but that's a bit of the situation concerning United. The truth is, there is not so much money to spend, there is little to spend, and United has got to sell if they are going to be able to buy some of the core players they need. But the players to sell are also not as attractive, so there is a bit of an impasse there when it comes to Manchester United. But that's the whole situation, of course. As we do speak now. Now, I'll go, of course, away from that, and of course, that transfer talk. Harry Maguire, again, is still wanted out of the club. There are reports linking him to Tottenham. They are still re-emerging. He might be headed out of the club, but the destination has been the point of debate. Where would he be going and for how much? But he's valued at £40 million according to the club. At least what we know. But he's expected to be let go of, but the destination is, I think, the headache still happening. But Tottenham has come out and been shown a bit of interest in him. So has West Ham United, who have as well shown interest in in Scott McTominay. I expect that soon we could get a bid tabled for one of the players that are wanted out of the club. But that should be soon. Now, speaking of players wanted out of the club, this is one that many don't want out of the club. Mason Greenwood. Now, there are photos that emerged of him and the girlfriend, who he's reportedly, of course, he was reportedly accused of beating and battling, and the girl is pregnant, and of course we are seeing a baby bump, of course, emerging, and of course, lately, Mason Greenwood is in the pictures. Certainly he's in, we are seeing lots of photos of him, and I think people are trying to prepare us to get used to seeing him. He has been pictured again training, so which is a good thing. I think they are preparing the public for his return, but his return is not probably going to be direct in the Manchester United training facility. That's Carrington. He will be expected most likely to go to AS Roma and join Jose Mourinho, as it has emerged that Mourinho has inquired about him and offered him a lifeline to go and join him at AS Roma as part of his therapy and return. Well, the Roma therapy is what he might want if he's going to come and return, of course, to play competitively at the topmost level, because certainly Mason Greenwood is an important player for Manchester United. Of course, the youngster earns £75,000 per week. He's contracted until 2025, so certainly something has got to be figured out if he's going to proceed as a United player. He won't be earning that money without being football match fit, so he should be loaned somewhere, and AS Roma looks like the likely destination for the youngster. That's the 21-year-old kid, that is Mason Greenwood. So that's what's happening with Manchester United. Those are the quick updates on this Monday morning. Those are the stories you should follow. Expect an update. I will be back here to confirm to you when finally the medical for Mason Mount does take place. It will happen. That's expected without a shadow of a doubt. We also know that a bid for Andre Onana is expected to be tabled sooner rather than later. But also, what we know as well concerning Manchester United is that they are planning, according to The Sun, a credible source in The Sun, a second bid that is for Rasmus Hojlund is being planned, and it should be tabled soon. This one has been in plan for quite some time, but it should be tabled soon. My name is Webb. Welcome to the Hotspot. Thank you. Subscribe if you haven't. Turn on your notifications, because it's going to be a busy week. Hot and busy, and we'll be here to give it all to you as it comes. Subscribe.